Today we're going to talk about breaking up the grocery list. What do we know about lists? Lists are boring and nobody wants to read them. If somebody just gives you a list of things to read, this is what your face is going to be. You're not going to be able to pay attention. It's not going to matter. It's not going to seem important. So why would you do that to your reader? If you think a list is boring to read, your reader's going to think it's boring too. So don't do it. Here's an example. At your birthday party, you should serve pizza, cake, potato chips, and ice cream. That's so boring to read, like you've forgotten the list before you've even finished. Here's a better way to write this. Start your party with crispy potato chips as an appetizer. The main course might be delicious, cheesy pizza. Dessert should be a chocolate cake with plenty of frosting. Top it off with vanilla ice cream. You hear how we took that little short, boring grocery list that's just like a list of items to buy, and we turned it into something descriptive. Crispy potato chips as an appetizer, delicious, cheesy pizza, a chocolate cake with plenty of frosting, topped off with vanilla ice cream. We're turning a list into something descriptive. Just because you're writing nonfiction doesn't mean that it has to be boring. Use your detail skills. I need to know the details of what you're writing. Here's another example. At the food court, you can buy hamburgers, Chinese food, pizza, or a salad. Okay, again, that's a grocery list. Got my hamburgers, check. Chinese food, check. Pizza, check. Salad, check. You've almost forgotten the first item on the list by the time you reach the last item. Here's a better way to say it. For those with large appetites, the food court has thick, juicy quarter-pound burgers with all the toppings. Thick and juicy quarter-pound burgers with all the toppings. You see how much more descriptive that is? If you're in the mood for Chinese, you can order pork lo mein or chow mein. For a quick snack, try cheesy thin crust pizza with everything from broccoli to sausage. Of course, for the health conscious, see now we're giving a reason why that's an option. These mall eateries offer crisp, green salads with juicy tomatoes and fresh vegetables. Man, that sounds good. It's making me want lunch. Offer crisp, green salads with juicy tomatoes and fresh vegetables. That sounds so much more detailed and more engaging than or a salad. Details help your reader remember what you said. Here's another example. In the country, you can see farmhouses, barns, cows, and open fields. Here's a way to revise it. Large, rambling farmhouses dot the landscape. Red barns stand nearby. Outside of the barns, green fields stretch in all directions. Black and white cows graze peacefully in the fields. Man, I can almost see myself standing in the field by the barn and watching the cows. Versus the list, it's like, okay, do you see a farmhouse? Check. Do you see the barns? Check. Do you see the cows? Check. Do you see the fields? Check. The revision helps our reader picture it in their brain. So even though it's nonfiction, we are still so much more engaged. Again, details get your reader involved in the text because it's interesting. In the school orchestra, you can play brass, woodwinds, percussion, or strings. Change it to, in the school orchestra, you can play a bold brass instrument like the trumpet or trombone. Others prefer the reedy, mellow sounds of the flute and clarinet, both members of the woodwind family. Foot-tapping, finger-snapping, hand-clapping people often opt for the percussion group, play a whole range of drums and rhythm instruments. If you love the sound of the violin or the cello, perhaps the string instruments are right for you. We've taken a boring list and we've turned it into a detailed paragraph. You're going to go to Canvas now, and you're going to practice breaking up a grocery list. So, for instance, you would take the items on the short list and you would turn it into this paragraph. There's going to be more grocery lists for you to practice on by going to Canvas and clicking on your OneNote assignment. Make sure when you finish, you copy your OneNote link into Canvas again.